So my pet peeve is that the guy that I share an office with eats chips really loud.
So you're gonna do that to us?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so that's
Hopefully
what
we're
I'm
getting
sharing with
audio
you.
this time.
Expensive lawyers shouldn't share offices.
Hey, first person to like confirm my stream
it's an
there.
old home, so you like. I used to have this huge office with like
Yeah.
a seating area all to myself, but I don't know this guy.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Citadel, take 2 I guess. We were running into some audio problems, so let us know right away if you guys can't hear us properly. Thanks for letting us know and joining the conversation. Hopefully you guys can hear us this time. I guess we'll just kind of like start from the beginning again. So today we're joined by actually 2 people that have never been on Citadel Uncut before. First would be Michael over in the corner.
What up?
Michael
Labuschagne.
Labuschagne.
Okay. Say it, man.
Labuschagne.
I like the real pronunciation better.
Sounds more phlegmy.
Yeah, you get a little bit,
Yeah.
in there, and then,
Yeah, I love that.
And what, like, I guess for our viewers here that don't really know about Citadel, Citadel.fm is a website. You can enter that into your URL and see lots of different articles based on life and arts and I guess gaming now for you.
Yeah, a little bit, I'm
Yeah.
gonna dabble a little bit there or there.
Yeah.
It'll be fun. Nothing is really written in stone right now because I'm still getting my university classes down and like balancing everything out right now, so
Yeah. But hey, you're doing it.
Yeah, that's good. John, I want to ask John a question because I really wanted to talk to John when I was watching it.
Yeah.
All right, I'm here. What's up?
John, what are you doing? I just want to honestly just kind of get to know you. Like, no, okay, I want to get to know your wife as well. No, okay.
Hey, careful.
Your wife, yeah, okay.
Thanks.
John, I don't want to come over, I don't want to come over across, misleading, but I just want to get to know you, man. Just in a chill manner.
Yeah.
So what is it you want to know?
I want to know
Open book.
what do you do for your life? What do you stand for?
Well, truth, justice, and the American way.
Whoa!
No, I work in social work. Currently I'm a case manager, or what we call a program services coordinator with a family home agency. And what we do is we provide. We supply independent contractors who provide care for developmentally disabled adults in their community homes. We match the level of ability to care with the need of the person who needs care being taken of them. Yeah. And then we provide accountability, assistance, and advocacy as necessary in those homes.
Yeah, you know your stuff, man.
Hey, Fariel, what do you stand for?
Only been doing it for a year. What do you stand for, Fariel?
Well, right now, I love all things tech. I'm an IT girl for a mental health company. I have a social work background, and I started an IT department for the company that I work for, so I'm loving it.
Wow, so what were they doing before there was an IT department? Was everyone just writing on pieces of papers and
paying
a lot of
me to
post-it
do
notes?
the IT work. I was working as a clinician, and then I was doing all the IT stuff on the side. So now I'm doing all the IT stuff for real.
Right on.
That's the way to get a job. You just go in a place, just to start doing the IT work, and then eventually they start paying you.
Yes.
That's how it works.
It worked for me.
It worked for Fariel anyway.
Yeah.
I'm going to do that. I'm going to go into 7-Eleven,
Yeah.
and it's going to start
Just start
working
doing
with the computer.
7-Eleven's IT.
Yeah.
They'd be like, I don't know if you can be back here. I was like, hey.
Just troubleshooting, guys. Just troubleshooting.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Paul, are you here, Paul?
Paul?
Oh yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. Okay. Do you own a gun?
We actually asked him this last week.
Oh,
So
okay.
I own guns.
Multiple.
That's a tune.
Yeah.
I mean, I have one that I can reach out and touch right now. It's
Oh, my
9mm Beretta.
Oh my
It's
word.
loaded in my here in my the
Okay,
place
well,
where I am.
you have to
And then I have a
protect yourself.
shotgun.
Oh.
Yeah, then I have a shotgun and But I'm new to Texas. I just converted.
Oh, so you're kind of getting in with like the trend right there, which is owning multiple guns.
I had that before. I got that when I was in the Marines.
Okay.
And so.
Paul's a trained killer, so it just makes a lot of sense for him to have weaponry nearby.
And then he can also just represent himself and avoid a lawsuit and everything. Like, that's the master plan, right, Paul?
The master plan? No, that's not the only a fool represents himself.
Okay, Paul. So since you're a lawyer, are you a part of anything that sets precedents? Sometimes, have you ever done something that became a precedent later, law-wise?
Boy, I hope not. I mean, yeah. So I don't have. There's not a case that I've worked on right now that has said I have cases that have gone to appeals courts and that I'm trying to appeal those. So I'm hoping to get to make some good law. But unfortunately, in criminal law, you tend to make bad law. That you complain about some bad actions, and then the court says no, that's fine, and then you've created some bad law because now the courts have declared whatever activity that everyone just assumed was bad now to be okay.
So you don't want to mess with
by
things.
finding someone not guilty, they thereby declare whatever they were doing to be fine.
No, I mean like if usually on appeal. So let's take this. Well, we can get into it during our time, but we could talk about the recent new trial order in the Saeed case from the Serial podcast.
That's fun.
And so we can talk about that a little bit, because I'm going to talk about that in my segment, and I can answer some questions kind of about how that works. But
so did you want to go first?
So
maybe we postpone this conversation until
let's put a pin in this. Yeah, or else we can finish introducing everybody and go right into topics if everybody.
Well, we got to introduce. So who left do we have?
Matt Brown. I didn't hear Matt introduce himself.
Who are you?
What
do you stand for?
Yeah. What do I stand for?
That's the best question of the night.
That's such a hard one too. I don't know why, but like the first thing that came to mind was like the Apostles' Creed. Like, I believe in God the Father Almighty, maker of heaven and earth, and in Jesus Christ, His Son, our Lord.
Super into that.
Like, yeah.
Super in the Apostles' Creed, Mr. Apostle Paul over here.
Oh my gosh. I'm so holy. Yeah.
I'm a big fan of the Apostles' Creed.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You're making me.
Does that cheapen the Apostles' Creed to say that you're a fan of it? Like, am I retweeting the Apostles' Creed on right now? Like, is that what that does?
No. I think
Apostles'
it's.
Creed.
Yeah.
All I'm thinking of is
fan.
Assassin's Creed. I don't know what Apostles' Creed is. That's like my knowledge of what you guys are talking about right now.
Apostles' Creed is kind of like it's like a declaration of faith that Christians have sung to the tune of Creed songs. So it's like, and I believe in God the Father.
Oh my gosh.
And you sound like you're singing country though.
Yeah, no, I can't do.
It just sounds like country.
It's hard. It's hard to do. That was a pun.
Oh,
On
okay.
Creed the band.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
it was, yeah.
Okay, I got
John
you.
Clapper
Alright.
is just saying to you now, John, that you actually can't retweet it because it's too long.
Ooh.
Yeah, the Apostles' Creed is definitely more than 140 characters. So
But you could retweet a link, and then there you go.
I don't even understand like why people use. Okay, sorry. Just on that 140 letter limit on Twitter.
Yeah.
What I don't understand is how people actually use that for their news. Like they actually can sum up within 140 letters all they need to know what's on the news network. I don't understand.
all you
how
need is a
people-
headline and a link, man. All you need is a headline and a link.
Yeah, but like, okay, like I feel that Twitter people, they don't actually, like when a news network, like let's say CNN posts, okay? Like, they obviously have their link, but they actually like mention just enough on that 140 characters to like understand like a brief summary of what you need to know.
Yeah, how many people are actually clicking through and reading the whole article?
Well, like I'm sure.
I
like,
just read enough to make a smart-ass comment. And then once the smart-ass comment comes to my head, then I'll just, I got that, and then I'll just write that as a reply.
No, that makes
But that's
Or to like purposely misunderstand what's going on, and then
I love that one.
lash out.
Oh my
But
god.
who retweets CNN? That's two. They're two mainstream. You got to find some independent, hyper-conservative blog that doesn't fact check their information, and then post that with a clickbait title like "You won't believe what Rand Paul just said."
Yeah, I wish that was hard to find, Paul.
Yeah.
That's the sad part.
Is that Paul in that instance? Paul, do you do that?
No, I find PolitiFact articles without backing. I try and equally find Facebook pages are better than people with their own websites.
Right.
Try to find something that mostly condenses news and arguments into memes. That's how you know it's distilled
That's how you
into
do
the
it.
most concise and communicable form, and that's
All I need to do is for you to tell me how to react emotionally. If you tell me to be angry, that's all I need. Be angry, Bob Dole. Okay, I'm done.
so you just
That's all you need to know.
that's why you need the meme, because it's like a shortcut to the feelings.
So why are we?
Justin Trudeau, elbows, angry. That's all you need.
Why don't we use emoticons in headlines? Why?
I do.
No, that'd be good.
Am I the only one making this argument in this world?
No, that'd be good.
It's coming. It's coming.
It's coming.
They now put emojis in the dictionary. It's happening.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of the headlines would just be like Trump, poop, emoticon. It's like that's a lot of headlines.
See, no, like, or Trump, and just like you see America with like a big mushroom cloud of nuclear.
That's an intense
explosion.
emoticon.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
Hey, but guys, Trump became a born-again Christian recently. James Dobson said so.
You know what? James Dobson interviewed Ted Bundy and was kind of like, "Hey, he's all right." So
Oh my goodness.
that guy's an idiot. I just want to say he also said that
Savage.
SpongeBob and Patrick were gay lovers. This is the guy that our parents decided how to raise us on.
There's a place called Bikini Bottoms and are friends with a person named Sandy Squirrel. They might be gay lovers.
I don't know. I don't understand where all the
You're
judgments
ruining
come
my
from.
childhood right now. You're honestly ruining it all.
Oh yikes.
And so what? So, you know, like, I think it's a relationship that works. Patrick has lots of expenditures.
Patrick is dumb.
SpongeBob has lots of holes, right? It works.
It
It works.
Do you think
There's no timer that's gonna go off, is there? This
It's
is
love.
Yeah, we need to go.
Love.
We don't have an alarm set.
Yeah, no, we have to start plowing through this. So for those of you that are just joining us, we have a bit of a format that we run through informally. We're going to have to be a little bit more assertive with that today because we have so many people on the show today. But usually what happens is we introduce about like 5 minutes for each person to get a topic in, and then through that we allow you guys to interact through the comments to form our conversation. And oftentimes it's a lot of fun to fluster somebody like Dustan because he'll talk about politics and you're like, the NDP is Satan or something like that, and then his head will explode. Anyway, so my job here,
Satan.
yeah, you guys will see me and I'll be looking back and forth to the computer just over here. And I'll be the person that's interjecting and representing you, the viewers. So, yeah, who wanted to go first there on their topic? Do you have a timer that you can set on your phone or no? Do you
I don't
timer?
have
I'll go
anything.
Google time.
Does somebody have a timer?
Google timer.
Yeah, Google time.
Google timer.
Google
Of the day.
timer.
Google has everything.
Oh, it's on 5 minutes already. That's wonderful. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you guys hear about the Google oven? It's the best.
Who wants to go
The
first?
Google
John
iWave is also
Trammell.
quite good.
John Trammell, you are going first.
I am?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, sweet. Okay, so tell me when to go.
You're
Go for
going.
it.
You're 4 minutes and 54 seconds in.
Oh my goodness. So, how many of you guys have seen the trailer for this hot new indie film that debuted this weekend called Swiss Army Man?
Swiss Army.
No.
No.
I think I did
Cheryl
see it,
did.
John. I
She
saw
raised
it.
her hand, listeners.
Swiss Army Man is the latest movie release that Daniel Radcliffe of Harry Potter fame is starring in. It's an independent film, sort of a comedy noir, about a man stuck on a desert island who's just about to kill himself when a dead body washes up on shore. And that dead body is Daniel Radcliffe. He plays a dead body. Ends up being the MacGuffin for the rest of the movie that saves the guy's life and eventually, hopefully, not only helps him find companionship, but helps him get off the island in the end.
Did you just say he's having companionship with the dead body?
Yes, it's very macabre.
It's not just a dead body. It's Daniel Radcliffe's dead body.
Oh.
And I didn't say that there was necessarily any romance involved in the companionship. It's more bromance.
So it's two guys.
They're two dudes. So the guys on the guys on the island, and then another dead guy washes up on shore.
Is he unconscious or dead?
He's dead. He's a dead
Waterlogged.
rotting
No.
body.
Why would they just cast Daniel Radcliffe dead in a movie?
Daniel said that it was one of the most difficult roles he's ever played, and
it can't be that bloody difficult.
So if it's a bromance, is there a lot of like secret handshakes where he has to use the guy's arm? He's like, That would be the sound because he'd be waterlogged.
They end up using the dead body powered by rotting gases in order to he'll shoot arrows into the water and kill fish for the guy to eat, and he can fly up into the trees using the dead body's flatulence in order to get bananas and weird little things like that.
Is this like a fantasy
that's not...
type? Is this a sci-fi?
What?
It's also a musical. So what happened?
Goodness, man.
The filmmakers wanted to take every element of movies and tropes that they hate and combine them all into one single movie.
So is this a joke? Is this film a joke?
It's a joke and an art film all at the same time. It's super tongue-in-cheek.
Man, this is weird. It's
in more ways than one.
I just can't. I'm thinking of High School Musical met Inception and met Life of Pi as well.
Oh
I was stranded, but it's you met a musical. So I just can't put those two together at all.
This is like Life of Pi 2, basically.
I'm gonna track on because that was an introductory topic.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
In Radcliffe news, he announced recently, and it came out on the independent.co.uk, that he has not ruled out a future of him playing Harry Potter again, a la Han Solo. What Harrison Ford did by coming back to the character after many decades. He's saying that while he's a solid no right now, he's not saying that he might not ever play the role again.
Well, why would he play the role again? That's what I don't understand.
There's this play right now in England, Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, which is supposed to be a part 8 after everyone's grown up. I think it could be possible that if they ever translate that into a movie, it wouldn't be unheard of for them to bring Daniel Radcliffe back to play a middle-aged Harry Potter.
Yeah, like a crotchety old Harry Potter. It's like, in my day, I got a scar. You got a scar in your head that you had to earn, I don't know anything about that movie.
So, back in that movie, which they're releasing the script as a book, or not that movie, that play, which they're releasing the script as a book, releases July 31st. And at this time, they're doing preview screenings for audiences in London, and J.K. Rowling has personally sort of gone to each of the shows and begged the audience not to post spoilers online.
But they have.
They have. Some of them have. Most of the ones that have been media people who have said, "Screw you, J.K. Rowling, I'm posting spoilers."
Jerks.
But yeah, it's kind of a punk move.
Yeah.
But I'm going to keep trucking along because this is an entire Harry Potter themed segment here. Okay, so in other news, in sort of pumping up Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, which is the movie that comes out this summer. Which is
this summer?
It is. It's a new movie out of
Jesus.
World. It's not a sequel. It's a spin-off that actually happens before the Harry Potter movies ever happened.
Yeah. I'm part of Pottermore, so I know a little bit.
Me too. And so, did you see what got posted on Pottermore this week?
Is that what you guys are called, Pottermores?
No. It's a website that's an interactive reading.
Fan. Did you see what got posted there this week, Matt?
No, I haven't logged in this week.
There's a history of the North American Wizarding School that's called Ilvermorny, and J.K. Rowling wrote a piece about the whole history of how the school got founded and what the 4 houses are and how they came to be named, and it's really exciting. And there's now also an Ilvermorny schoolhouse sorting quiz, and so now in addition to taking the Hogwarts sorting quiz, you can now take the Ilvermorny sorting quiz and find out what house you would be in the North American house. That was really cool. That came out just a couple of days ago, and I've already taken the quiz and read the history, and just so you all know, I am in the House of Thunderbird.
I need to do that now. I need to log on.
Are any of the rest of you guys Harry Potter fans?
Yeah, but I'm
Yes,
Thunderbird. Really.
I'm telling you, it's one of the 4 new houses at the North American School of Witchcraft and Wizardry.
Oh, okay, man. Like, would that be like Hufflepuff then, you'd say, or what?
They don't have direct correlations. There are similarities, but they're not direct translations.
So it's not the same. Okay, so you can't really correlate them both.
They say that Thunderbird attracts adventurers, so I guess you could say I'm an adventurer.
Do you ever wonder what would happen to J.K. Rowling if her books didn't get huge?
Oh, I'm sorry, guys. We've just run out of time for this topic, and we have to move on.
No.
Yeah, sorry, guys.
I want to hear what house you're all in.
Sorry. Dustan, Hlady, do you have anything you'd like to add today?
Start me on the clock?
Yeah, you're good, bro.
All right, here we go. I want to talk about something that somebody said to me back when I ran for MP back in the day, and it was my job to basically go door to door and listen to people talk about. I was basically a Jehovah's Witness, a political Jehovah's Witness, and it was really interesting because I got to meet so many different people. It was really fun, and sometimes there was people that I just couldn't stop talking to because they were so entertaining. And this one lady, so how I met her is I was talking to her neighbors, and then she rolls up in her huge truck. Her and like her nephews had been hunting.
They come out, hit you brutally.
They come out with their rifles and like their head to toe camo, and her neighbors go, "Oh, you want to talk to Shelly? Oh, talk to Shelly," and I was like, "All right." And then Shelly looks at her neighbors and she's like, "Hey, blanks," and then she just pulls down her pants and like moons them and me. I don't think she knew I was like. I think she saw. I usually know the people that sit on that porch.
Yeah.
Was she drunk?
No, not at all. She was just she's a wild, fun lady. She's like if Rosie O'Donnell was like born in a coal mine kind of vibe.
Wow.
Oh my god, she's so amazing. And we sat and talked, and she was just say like hilarious thing after hilarious thing. And one of the things she said, she talked about is how she had a lot of views on immigration, and she felt that our country is not accepting enough of immigrants. Bet you didn't think I was going to say that, did you? You bunch of prejudice against rednecks. But anyways, and she said, Look at my nephew here. He's a complete idiot. He couldn't pass the Canadian citizenship test. And I looked at him and I was like, he's like, no, it's all right. I'm an idiot. I'm totally stupid. I'm like, all right. And then she said, but these people come over and they have to do all this studying to become Canadian, stuff like that. It's like they're more Canadian than we are. So I thought it would be fun if us together do the Canadian citizenship test.
Oh, now I'm excited.
This is gonna be fun.
Okay, so here we go, and I just picked. It's longer than this, but there's a test online that you could do, and you can pick how many. And I picked 10. So
we're gonna have to plow through this.
We'll see how many we get.
Yeah.
Okay, who were the Voyagers?
What are the options?
People who take photos of people in public. No, just kidding. That's Montreal. I actually know the answer to this. Yeah. They were French fur traders.
Yeah.
Around the same time as the Hudson Bay Company.
French patriots, you say?
The fur traders.
Fur traders.
Yeah, and they were even before the Hudson Bay Company. So that's Montreal-based traders who travel by canoe. Let's do that. What province is the only officially bilingual province?
It would be New Brunswick.
Quebec.
It is no. Quebec is unilingual. It's French.
Oh, it's just French.
It's New Brunswick. It's New Brunswick.
Yeah, you're right.
New Brunswick.
Right. I bet you $1 million you're right.
Yeah.
Okay, what are the provinces of central Canada and their capital cities? That's
I
probably
can do this one.
Oh, no.
Ontario, Quebec, probably.
No,
Is central? I don't
I'm
know.
staying away
Central?
from this.
Central.
That's central. Kinda. Or is Manitoba No, I know.
Like Central Canada?
I learned this the other day. Winnipeg is the geographical center of North America.
I would say Saskatchewan and Manitoba, but
And Alberta.
yeah, but that's more west, right?
Okay,
or Central
what do you say,
Canada.
Matt?
I would say that it's Regina, Saskatchewan, and Winnipeg, Manitoba.
Okay, let's see if that's an option.
I'm just keeping quiet, man. I don't want to get anything.
It is an option.
Yeah.
Okay,
I don't know
in
either.
which region do more of half the
okay.
people in Canada live? More than half the people in Canada live in that Toronto area.
Yeah. So it'd be
Central Canada, Prairies, Atlantic Canada, Northern Canada.
So the option is not the 20-mile strip closest to the U.S. No.
no. Well, then I'd say no. It would not like.
It's not Prairies. Prairies, Atlantic Canada, Northern Canada, or Central
Do
Canada.
more than half.
Well, Central, I guess
well,
then.
Oh, so then that just basically makes my whole first.
Oh, so that
question
means
wrong.
the other question is
Yeah,
C.
then it would be
Okay, all right,
Toronto,
we're gonna
yeah.
win this.
Yeah, we're gonna just
Okay,
get this. Yeah.
which federal political party is in power?
That would be.
Paul has to answer this. Paul, Paul.
The Whigs. It's the Whigs.
The Whigs. Is it the Green? Paul, is it the Green Party, the NDP, the Liberal Party, or the Conservative Party?
Oh, it's got to be the Liberals.
It is.
That's
You
why
gotta
the
love
country
the
is going to
Liberals.
hell, because the Liberals.
I agree, but for different reasons. Who have, because they're not left enough, who have major responsibilities on First Nation reserves? John, you take this one. Is it band chief and councillors? Is it municipal governments? Is it provincial and territorial governments? Or is it the federal government?
What do you mean by responsibilities?
Probably the bureaucracy.
Who makes their
I'm
policies?
gonna,
Like who's-
I'm gonna say band chiefs.
Okay, like who's paving the roads?
Doubt it.
Even though if
Who's
you've been
paving
on a
the roads? That's federal government all the way.
or not paving the roads, I should say. Federal
Yeah,
government.
federal government for sure.
Yeah,
All right.
I'd say federal.
Even though who are the founding people of Canada? Métis, French, British, Aboriginal, Métis, British.
Founders or the people that claim?
Yeah, are we talking the Dominion of Canada, or
We're
people
talking
who
about
settled first?
not the land, but the Canada
Like
being
the people who claimed it, like
the the Dominion of Canada, meaning like the organization of Canada.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah, 1867 Canada.
1867. Well, technically, we were still just a part of the Union. We didn't become
So that would
independent
be
until like 1994.
it would.
So that'd be. It has to be Aboriginal, French, and British, even though.
No, I wouldn't.
Well, like the Métis would. Okay, when you're considered Métis, it's because you're half.
It's not the
Aboriginal,
French.
half French.
It's
right?
Inuit,
Yeah.
Aboriginal,
So it
and
would
British.
be the French aren't involved.
Sitting over the, pouring over the.
Yeah.
Because there were like, yeah, because the French lost the war against the British.
Well, actually, I remember some class them talking. Like I remember Dr. Brian Gobbett in history
Yeah.
class saying that it was French and British for the longest time.
Yeah.
That's what. Oh, we're out of time.
Oh, so we need to
we're-
see
we're-
how we did on this.
We're just gonna pick randomly the last three, and then see how we. Well, we'll just check my answers. Check answers. How do we do?
You say 60%?
The only one we got wrong was it's band chiefs and counselors
Yeah.
who have the
That's what I
responsibility.
said.
The American was right.
But then you went
It's
to
alright, John,
the federal
man.
government.
You're a good person.
But federal government does have. They are kind of responsible over First Nations
To be
people, which is
honest, they
weird.
probably have a huge say in it. I don't really think the band chiefs have too much.
Well, they run.
Yeah.
They run the
Yeah,
reserves.
but they're not like.
What a banshee is.
I don't want to get too much into this, but I don't feel like they're like, you know, educated as much like back then with like, you know.
Oh, this is now though.
Oh, okay. This is like recent. Like
Yeah.
how you said like for one of the questions you brought.
They act as their own municipal government.
Yeah, the chief of the
Basically.
band.
Yeah.
But then they get all the
They get
all
funding.
their funding
and
is from
then
the federal
bands-
government.
First Nations tribe, the
So,
reservation.
like, you guys know every time that like people complain that First Nations people get free education funding, it's not necessarily true, because
No,
like
it's not.
it's dependent on if their band has money to send them. Because if their Aboriginal band does not have money in the budget,
Right.
they will not get educational funding.
Yeah. So
And
it'd basically
so,
be like
yeah.
living in a
decides?
city that sometimes pays for the people within the city's education, which
Yeah.
would be great actually.
I'd like to live in that city.
Sweet. So let's go over to Paul Creech next.
Oh, hi guys. So, I don't know if did anybody listen to this Serial podcast?
Obsessively,
Yes.
yes.
Yes. So my wife listened to it, and she tried to get me to listen to it, and I really resisted because my law firm does some post-conviction stuff, and you know, kind of the last thing you want to do is come home and have work. You know, it's not as kind of your side thing. But I did listen to one of the podcasts, not of Serial, but of, I think it's kind of a spin-off side podcast and it happened to be the one where they were talking about the technology related to cell phone towers.
Yeah.
And so today, Mr. Saeed won a new trial, and the way criminal trials work in the U.S. is a jury finds you guilty, and
Yeah.
you get a chance to directly appeal that up, and you're supposed to bring all the issues that you can bring right then. It's one shot, and if you don't bring something, and then you lose it, you waive it. And then your trial's final, because we like finality. And but Saeed was able to, because of this podcast, enough people were paying attention to his case that they found a lot of information that new lawyers were able to take to a judge and say, Judge, we need a hearing about these about what's going on in this case. And that's a really hard thing to do, to even get this hearing. They're incredibly rare, and Saeed got one, and they had a couple of claims, and one was that the government didn't turn over exculpatory materials. In the U.S., the prosecutors are required by law to give you all this any information that they have that they find that would tend to show that you're innocent or that one of their witnesses is a liar. It doesn't even have to be a liar about what they're talking about, but just generally. And when they don't do that, or they do it at the last second, a lot of times courts kind of give them a pass. They look at it and go, well, it wouldn't really help you, which kind of encourages them to hide things instead of bring it out. But the number one way you get a new trial is if your lawyer was ineffective, and you have to be really blow it to be ineffective. I mean, there's been lawyers who slept through trials that were found not to be ineffective. So
they were since the beginning of the whole from the whole Serial thing all the way through the spin-off podcast. They were really trying to push that Cristina Gutierrez was incompetent.
That is because if that's the only way. So like we've had cases where the lawyers on the other side, you know, where later on a lawyer for this person tries to point the finger back and say, no, these guys were ineffective. So everybody brings that claim. So lawyers don't really take it personally because they know it's coming, because you don't have any other shot. There's no other way. Mm-hmm. And so he got lucky enough that they decided that his lawyer was ineffective because they failed to cross-examine a witness who was testifying about some cell phone records that placed the defendant at the place where the murder occurred, right? Or is the place where he was buried?
At the burial, yeah.
At the burial site. Okay, yeah. So at the burial site, and there was a fax page that would have suggested that the records aren't accurate and the lawyer was ineffective in not cross-examining. This is an incredibly rare thing, and I'll tell you why. Because most of the time, you're judges will look at this and say, look, you had the evidence, you could have cross-examined him, that the reason why you didn't do it was probably a strategic reason. The reason you didn't call this witness or cross-examine them on this issue is because you felt like if you went down this road, it would end up hurting you more.
That got said once. He was denied this retrial once before, based on that grounds. The judge had previously decided that that she had not done it strategically.
Yeah, and it's usually true. I mean, in all the cases that I've known, it's usually true. Sometimes, though, that you just don't see things. You're in the middle of a trial and you don't see the importance of an issue, and you just miss it. It happens. We have a case where we represent a guy who's on death row, and they just kind of missed that the girl's body hadn't liquefied and that all of her organs were intact, and so the time of death was off by weeks. And even when the medical examiner says, no, I'm going to recant my whole testimony. I was wrong. Her time of death was not 2 weeks earlier. It was days, which would have meant that our client no way did it. But still, we didn't, and we got an evidentiary hearing off of that. And then the judge looked at all the evidence and said, no, I'm fine with the way it is.
What?
Wow.
So,
Wow.
yeah. So it's got some
wait. So you represented somebody that definitely did not do it, and that was proved later? In your opinion, I guess?
Yes, and he's on death row right now. His name is Larry Swearingen, and my law firm represents him. And we have an excellent lawyer who's working on the case. But Larry is his execution is going to come up, and
Wow.
When is his execution?
Well, there's from what I understand, the judge on the case is retiring, and a new judge is going to take over, and it's very likely that the new judge is going to move things along and set an execution date where the other judge hasn't. So it'll probably be weeks and not the years that it has been.
Okay, so if he's executed and and this evidence comes to light of the time on the body being off, like, isn't that a huge thing? Like, hasn't Texas never proved that they've executed someone that actually didn't do it, besides David Gale? But that was kind of like a...
I don't know.
David Gale, that story's crazy.
There's a famous case in Texas where the arson science is basically, I don't know, snake oil. It's not a real science until recently, and so there was a man whose kids he had his house catch fire. He runs out, his kids are burned to death inside, and just kind of based on the fact that people didn't like the way he was mourning, and didn't think he was acting right, and he eventually was executed, and a bunch of scientists at the last minute said no, all the science in this case is completely backwards, and but it was too late, and so they had a commission to study that kind of science, I worked for the Innocence Project when I was in school, and it was one of the classes I took, and I'll say one of my jobs was to evaluate cases, prisoners saying, I'm innocent, prove me innocent. I went and read the transcript of a trial, and I thought, boy, I wouldn't have convicted this guy on this evidence. I think they got the wrong guy. However, it's not like DNA is going to get this guy off. It's the jury saw the evidence and made the judgment. I think it was the wrong judgment, but it's not something that science is going to fix.
Right.
It's something I just really disagree with. So a lot of cases of innocence are like that. There's not a piece of evidence you could overturn, or
there's no definitive proof.
Yeah, like you can say we found an alibi. Well, he had an alibi witness. The jury just didn't believe him.
Yeah.
So
what about Adnan at this point? The Syed case.
He's going to get. They have to decide whether they want to retry him or not. He's got a new trial, is what's ordered. He's not been ordered free. So they
does this make you lose confidence, like not want to have the death penalty, so somebody's just not senselessly killed if they are innocent?
So I'm fairly comfortable. I'm fairly comfortable with the death penalty in general.
Okay.
However, I feel very strongly that one, I think it should be public. because I think if we're going to do things like kill people, we shouldn't hide behind not seeing it. If we're going to do something that is that, gross, that we should have to look at what we're doing, because it's us as a people doing it. The other thing is that we should be willing to pay the people who are working on the case enough so that they'll do a good job, and you kind of get what you pay for, and a lot of these cases are set up to fail. I don't know if anybody watched the show on Netflix.
Yeah.
How to
Making of a Murderer?
Yeah.
I did not see that.
So the number one thing people can do is show up to jury duty and hold the government to its proof. Most younger people say, no, I'm not going to show up to jury duty. And who shows up? Older people who are more willing, be less skeptical of the government.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter your politics. People show up and you're like, oh, this person might be a good juror because, I can see their Facebook page and I can see where their politics are. And then they go in there and they're the best government juror that there is. And people and sometimes these defendants are bad people in their lives. They may not be guilty of what they've been accused of. And so people are like, well, I'm not going to fight these 12 people over this guy. And he's probably done some bad stuff. And he wouldn't be here if it wasn't, they don't looking at the evidence, they rationalize their verdict. Yeah. And so I think the number one thing people can do is to go ahead and be jurors, and then to be skeptical people, and are more skeptical and look at the evidence tougher when deciding to give somebody in a car accident money than deciding whether somebody's guilty of a crime. Mm-hmm. And that's ridiculous.
John, do you guys have the death penalty in California?
I think that California still has the death penalty, but I don't think that they've executed anyone in a long time.
Yeah, they've effectively got rid of it, but it's still on the books. It's
okay.
So Paul, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Okay, so the death penalty and a life sentence. Do you in your opinion, I think of the death penalty and the life sentence almost on the same standard, to be honest, because you technically don't have a life behind bars, and I just wonder, since you understand the death penalty, you believe it, you think it's it can be enforced if it comes down to it, but the life sentence, do you feel about that the same way you feel about the death penalty?
That life sentences are good things. They're
compared to a life sentence.
When comparing them, I think the death penalty should be reserved for the worst cases, and they tend to be reserved for the worst cases, at least on the books. But of course, I would rather them, chain the guy to the median and just leave him there, put the chain through him. But yeah, but for life in prison, for murder, yeah, life in prison, absolutely. It's bizarre when I think Europe's laws, where I see a lot of countries with 20-year maximums for murder. Right, that's like, hey man, that's a little bit of drugs here, I have a doctor who got a 10-year sentence for, and to me, I believe he was innocent of the crime he was charged with. I hope we win that appeal, but life sentences for murderers, I don't have a problem with that at all.
One of the Manson girls might be getting out soon.
Yeah, but a lot of people getting sentenced are older, and so every sentence is a life sentence. So if you're 78 years old, and if your life expectancy is cut in half, so whatever your life expectancy would be outside is cut in half when you're incarcerated. Really? Yeah, and a lot of these guys aren't sent to jails that you kind of think of in the movies. They're sent to more camps where you have a bunch of bunk beds and kind of squad bays, like it looks like boot camp if you know what that looks like. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So. Yeah. Whoa.
Anyway, we have exhausted more than enough time on this topic.
We went over the 5 minutes.
Way over, but it was interesting.
Yeah, let's talk about it after.
Liked it. Therial?
Yes.
Awesome. Sorry, I'm awful at pronouncing names.
What's that sound though?
That would be a furnace.
I'm gonna shut it off.
Yeah, do you wanna? He'll
we
shut
don't
it
need
off.
heat, it's fine.
Sorry, I forgot to turn it off before. I was dealing with the audio
Just
issue.
keep going.
Anyway, Ferial, did you have a topic that you prepared for us today?
I do, actually. I'm
Awesome.
going to kind of wing it, but I do have a topic. So I'm going to start with a question.
Perfect.
And my question, forgive my ignorance, do you guys have the Cheesecake Factory restaurant in Canada?
Yes, we do. We do.
Okay.
Really? Where?
So have we...
Vancouver.
Really?
In Vancouver. So have we all been to the Cheesecake Factory?
I have not.
I have.
Okay. And so, Michael, when you go to the Cheesecake Factory, can you tell me what the menu is like?
Oh my goodness, man. I went like 5 years ago, but like, okay. Now I'm trying to recall.
I know that John Clapper is saying that the keg is much better.
Oh gosh, get out of here!
I can remember. My goodness, I honestly I was like 13, 14 years old, so I couldn't exactly tell you. But either it was expensive, but there was, I don't know. I want to hear what you have to say about it, because I can probably recall after you tell me about it.
The word you're looking for, that I think that Ferial's looking for, is not expensive, but extensive. It's a novel.
Oh.
It
The Cheesecake Factory menu is
like a
like a
magazine.
17-page magazine. It's
It's
enormous.
kind of impressive.
I just remember I have people that tell me about like their massive like tubs of salad that they give
Yes.
you.
Yes.
Have you ever been to the Cheesecake Factory, Dustin?
I kind of know what that is. It's a
Okay.
restaurant, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, the whole point is whenever I go to the Cheesecake Factory, and I've only been a handful of times, but the menu always struck me as ginormous, and I could never decide what to get because there were so many options, and I would kind of be paralyzed by this overwhelming sense of, if I get this, I'll be missing out on this.
You know what you shouldn't get, according to Carrie? The French onion soup. It's the worst in the world, apparently.
Well, see, that's the thing. Every time I've been, I've always stuck to the same thing.
You get the same thing every time.
I honestly, I would do the same thing. If you like something, stick to it.
Well, see, that's my interesting point. My topic for today is, and actually, I think the friend who introduced us to this idea is watching today, Josiah. He introduced us to something called the paradox of choice a while back.
There's a really good TED talk on the paradox of choice. Look it up on YouTube. I strongly recommend it.
So where they talk about the paintings, the test done with the paintings?
No.
That sounds vaguely familiar. I actually can't remember much about the TED talk. I was thinking about it, and when I wanted to talk about today was just that whole thing about the paradox of choice. And I think I read an article where they were talking about the paralyzation of options. Like you just become overwhelmed by too many options. And so I was thinking about it because I wanted to talk about capsule wardrobes today. Have you guys ever heard of a capsule wardrobe?
No, I want to.
No.
This is fantastic. You're going to love this.
Okay. Well, I'll be brief. John and I actually got into capsule wardrobes about a year ago. I started it and he jumped on board. A capsule wardrobe is a smaller, condensed version of your wardrobe where you have fewer pieces to choose from and thereby get rid of the whole like paralyzation of your options. You never stand in front of your closet and feel like you have nothing to wear because you curate a smaller version, a capsule, if you will, of your clothing options so that they're all pieces that you love, that you can mix and match and be versatile and creative with. And you never get stuck with feeling like you can't choose or you're wearing the same thing all the time.
There was a time for a while in the late 2000s when I felt like I was becoming the Argyle guy because I had like 6 or 7 different Argyle pieces, and I was like, I hate that I'm becoming the Argyle guy, and I felt like I couldn't even wear an Argyle shirt because I'm like, didn't I just wear one a couple of days ago? But with this idea of a capsule wardrobe, that it completely avoids that because everything goes minimal and simple.
Yeah. I really like that. Yeah, like one.
Is that what everyone? Okay, so people who don't do the capsule wardrobe, you guys before you did this, and everyone else, do you guys actually go to your closet and like think, what am I gonna wear?
Like, I don't have a lot of clothing. Like I personally don't have a lot to choose from because I don't go shopping. I hate shopping, so that's not really an issue with me. But with like other people,
wardrobe, Michael. Maybe you already are on it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I honestly, I don't care for clothing. Like I have never in my life ever cared about what I'm wearing. So
on our hands,
it's like the easiest choice.
I'd rather not have a nudist on my hands, but if there's any place where I don't want a nudist, it's probably on my hands. But room is not as bad as on my hands. So there's a nudist in the room.
Well, here, I brought another an article that I read today because I was thinking that you guys might not be as interested in the clothing idea as I was. I love the whole capsule wardrobe idea. Love it. We'll talk more about it at another time. But I read an article today about how Spotify, do you guys use Spotify?
Yes.
I'm Apple Music.
Yeah, I do Spotify.
Music is doing the same thing, where because we have access to almost every piece of music ever created at our fingertips in our phones nowadays, the choice can be equally as overwhelming as a Cheesecake Factory menu or standing not in front of Dustan's closet or anything like that. But they have come up with these ideas of playlists, and specifically the Discover Weekly playlist. Does Apple Music do something similar?
They've just started something similar.
They're really
they do.
pushing
I talked
for
about
that.
it a month ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't understand why you would use a playlist though. Like I have like a certain selection of songs in my head, and I know exactly what I want to listen to. I don't understand why someone would want like if you listen to
people want to hear new music.
It's really
it's
really like if you like a song, that's the song you get on your iTunes. You don't. I'm not a musician in any way.
All right, guys. Final thoughts on this topic here. Wrap it up.
I really like it. It makes a lot of sense to think about it like that.
Am I the only one that does this? Because what I do with my clothes is I wash them all in the laundry, and then I put them in all my drawers. I don't put like all my shirts in one, all my pants. I fold them all in in a random order,
right.
And then I just randomly. Like I start on the left part, and then I go through all my drawers because I have
that
9
sounds
drawers.
like a very Dustan way
Does
to do it.
no one else do that?
No. I guarantee.
So I never think about what I'm wearing.
Awesome.
I never think about it. I've got my.
Oh my god.
The only thing I would say is an issue with that is like not picking your clothing matching your clothing properly.
That's a problem sometimes. That's definitely a problem.
This topic, Dustan, did you think about what you wore when you were on the campaign trail?
Yeah, well, I kind of like I added a nice shirts element to it. So I had in my closet a thing of nice shirts.
Yeah.
And all my pants are nice.
I remember doing some work with you on that as like a marketer, and I told you a couple times, Kate, change your shirt, like fix your hair.
I've
like
one for a few days now.
Yeah, but same with the shirts. I would never think about what nice shirt to wear. I just have like a closet, and I go, this is the one closest to me. That's the one I'll do.
Nice.
Pick the clean one.
So practical, Dustan. So practical.
Same with you. I don't want to think about. What are we thinking about that stuff?
Yeah, that makes sense. I only keep track really of my dirty underwear. Is the only thing I really keep track of. But like besides that, I don't keep track of anything else.
Quality guy here. Quality guy.
You can wear a shirt. Like if I don't sweat, like why? What is stopping me from wearing this tomorrow as well? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's a college student right there. That's
What do you do? We don't have time for laundry and stuff like that. That's okay. Cleaning is
a nice shirt you're wearing, though.
Pardon?
A nice shirt you're wearing.
Oh, thanks, man. It's Guess, man. Yeah, I love Guess. That's honestly where I shop by. Like the only shop I actually like is Guess.
Our Facebook comments are asking if you wear it for a full month. Like how long? How long would you go? How long?
Okay, like if I'm going strong, like on a good week, I'd keep it on. Like I'd wear it for maybe. Oh my goodness. I wear it for like 2 days, and then I might not wear it that next day, but I won't wash it. I'll just put it back on, and then when people kind of like forgot that I was wearing it, I would just start wearing it again. Man, I don't want to do bloody laundry. It's something so inconvenient.
Since when are you like around people bleeding now?
The bloody laundry. So
I was like, what?
Are you a doctor?
John Clapper. Sorry, there's a delay. Sorry, John Clapper mentioned online that Mark Zuckerberg wears the same outfit every day, and you'll notice. Kind
of Steve Jobs too.
Steve Jobs did the same thing.
Yeah.
I believe Warren Buffett does the same thing. Warren Buffett eats the exact same thing for breakfast every morning. He always ends his day with a big bowl of ice cream. Like the rituals and habits are one of those things that are considered something that successful people do. They don't waste brain space on wardrobes because they know I'm going to wear the same black shirt and jeans every day. I'm going to eat oatmeal with the same ingredients in it every day, and they attribute that, and psychologists do this too, this is a sort of a tested thing. They attribute the part of the success of this person is attributed to the fact that they're not wasting brain space on a creative endeavor like choosing a pink t-shirt over a blue one.
Yeah, like the same Nacho Grande with like some fire sauce. You just don't waste that brain space because you got stuff going on.
So
I had a Nacho Supreme yesterday with the fire sauce. Good call, Paul.
So if you feel like you have you're using like this, you have like a brain capacity. If you fill this brain capacity up with too much, you can't like get ahead in your life in a way. Like you filled up so much. Like, is that what it's getting at? Like, if it is. Like,
yeah, like so much Blake Lively trivia can accumulate, and that's going to crowd out like some important chemistry.
We do have supercomputers in our heads, but they do work like RAM, like random access memory, where they're able to grasp the things that are closer to the surface, the things that were used more recently, more easily. So there might be facts and figures that are buried deep in your consciousness that you can't access because there's so much Blake Lively trivia and Harry Potter stuff.
Some of us just have more RAM than others.
and they say like there's the creativity, energy, you only have so much. But I heard this other thing that said people only have so much empathy that they can give out.
I have very little.
I don't care.
And maybe one of the reasons why we can be apathetic towards tragedy and pain and stuff like that is because through globalization we know about all the crappy stuff that's happening in the world, and like you can only hear about so many things before you're kind of like, I guess more people died. Okay, all right. Like it's
bye. Yeah.
There's like there's an empathy cap, and maybe some people have more empathy than others, just as some people have more creativity than others. But
yeah, that makes sense. I like the one thing that I find really interesting. It's like kind of like a side point you brought up that reminded me of like when someone dies, like not in your just like vicinity, but in your area, it's much more of a bigger thing than, let's say, like something like the Istanbul incident where 42 people died. It's a major thing, but we're not that like close to it because we're quite distant from them. But if someone dies in like our local community in a car accident, then it's a huge thing. It's a huge thing for the community as well. And that's one part of media that like when it seems like it lacks that side of emotion for me.
Yeah.
You just don't get touched by it like you do when you're locally. So.
There's an economist that developed a theory called distance decay, and the idea was that, so let's say you have a factory that makes Twinkies or whatever. If you put everything on a chart as to where all those Twinkies go in the world, they'll mostly go to places near the factory, and as they branch out, it gets less and less. And the idea is that whatever's the geographic center of something happening or something being shipped, the closer it is, the more impact it is. And so I wonder if like maybe empathy is like that. The more close it is to you, the more it's gonna rock you.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I know.
It's
super deep, Dustan. Super deep.
If somebody falls over right in front of me, I'm still gonna burst out laughing. Like, doesn't matter if I see it on YouTube or if they're right in front of me. Actually, I'll probably laugh harder if they're right in front of me.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Like this reminds me.
You laugh harder if they're in front of you.
I'm a savage.
This reminded me of drowning. Do you guys know the drowning child theory?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's interesting. I should probably just explain it. Yeah. So what it means is like if a child is like drowning in front of you, you'd most likely go and help it, right? Like even if you had your like let's say your work shoes on, you had a pretty snazzy outfit on, you'd probably still more or less like dive into the water and like help the child out.
Likely. Yeah.
But now let's say there's other implications. Like if you don't make it to work, you will be fired. Like your boss has like a strong tied with you. He really needs you on time today. If you're not on time, he will fire you, which will put you back. And those just like obviously there can just be more implications. Like it can be in worser situations.
Yeah.
So like what's that interesting to me is that when that gets to a certain point, you're not gonna be willing to help out. But everyone will like help out at like different levels. Like I mean, how much they're willing to sacrifice. So that's.
Well, it's interesting because the version of that I heard was that there's a girl drowning. Do you ruin your $200 pair of shoes to save her? And then everyone says, yeah, of course.
You take them off.
Your shoes are not your shoes are not worth more than a child's life, right?
I am not sacrificing my Louis Vuittons for that girl.
Okay, outside of Matt, most people would say
that costs a little more than $200.
but then you could also send $200 to like World Vision, and that would save someone's life.
Right.
So it's like, why is there a difference in our moral capacity? Right?
And now it's time to make a decision here at the Jars of Clay concert. It's time to make a decision, my people.
Preach it. Okay. Actually, we are just about out of time here. We're gonna go a little bit over here, but we should do our final thoughts now.
Okay, I'll go first. I'm a Thunderbird, and so I want to thank everyone for pointing me to that. And I somehow was able to take that quiz while the rest of the show is going on. I don't know how I pulled it off. So thanks, John.
You're very welcome.
Well,
that was
a final thought.
Yeah,
that was a final thought.
That was a good thought.
Yeah.
I just want to generally say that you guys are a really cool group of people and really cool individuals that know, like a little bit about everything. Like to be honest, you don't meet people like this every day. Like even though we're talking to each other, it's. No, sorry. If I'm touching your heart right now, that's good. But it's.
I don't let nudists touch my heart. Sorry.
God. Okay. Well,
how about just a little touch?
Also, gentle, very gentle.
A little tickle.
But also, no, I've never been like, okay, in South Africa, I hate wearing bloody shoes. Like my feet.
Bloody shoes? Who are you killing?
Okay,
why do you have all this bloody clothing?
Quit persecuting me, your Louis Vuittons. You took them off to save a drowning girl, but then somebody came by and had a paper cut, and it was just a horrible situation.
I've never really understood why people spend a lot of money on clothing. I've never been like in South Africa. There's uniforms, right? And everyone wears the same clothing, so it makes life easier at that point. And I've always been at a place that had uniforms. So it's first of all, there's no bullying. You can't mock someone for wearing what you're wearing. Is what I really enjoyed. So
who wore it better?
Oh yeah,
that would be me. Yeah.
Yeah, but no, it's just really interesting. Yeah, it's my final thought.
Oh, my final thought is I never have anything for this. Well, actually,
that's a thought.
If you like reading books, I suggest check out my article that I wrote on Citadel.fm or CitadelMagazine.com.
Link is just below here. That actually is a URL. .fm is a URL. It's like .com or anything.
Like anything else.
So you can
just
go
like
there,
anything.
You can go there, and I wrote an article about Connie Galt's Beauty, which is a pretty cool book. Yeah. So if you want to know what the book is about, read my article.
Interesting.
Fair.
Yeah.
Ferial, final thoughts?
Ferial.
My final thought is that I love Spotify, and I love the new music that they send me with my Discover Weekly playlist.
Every Monday. She listens to her Discover Weekly every Monday on her way to work.
I have successful people like routines. But for my final thought, if anybody wants a super chill band to listen to, my new favorite is Oh Wonder.
Oh my gosh, I love them.
Yeah. So go listen on Spotify.
Yeah.
Oh Wonder.
Oh Wonder.
Oh Wonder.
I like saying it.
It does sound nice. They probably thought that.
They're so good.
Oh, wonder.
Oh my gosh.
ASMR.
Oh, no mouth sounds. You're going to make me gag. And I've allowed... Okay, stop.
Okay.
No, I'll go to my final thought, and I'll be a curmudgeon like last time, and I'll do it the same style as last time. We are now in about month 8 of the Manitoba Expressway construction project, where we have not seen construction in the last week in any meaningful way on this bridge. City of Moose Jaw, this is a conversation for you. Please finish what you start. I don't care if it's an election year and you want to start a million projects to like put as an election thing. Like, I don't know what it is, but stop. Your city is awful.
Stop it.
Like, stop.
And this is, if anyone's listening in other places, this is Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan we're talking about. It's very regional, but now you know our problems.
Beautiful.
Anywhere.
What? Is there another Moose Jaw anywhere in the world?
Moose Jaw is the
Saskatchewan
city that has like a fair size, a fair budget, and they still have roads like Tijuana.
I bet the roads in Tijuana might even be nicer.
But they might be. But there definitely is less white horses painted like zebras on the roads.
Jeez. Anyway, thank you to everyone who tuned in today on Citadel Uncut. Every week on Thursday at 9:30, we are live. You can also check out our website at citadelmagazine.com or at citadel.fm to check out articles throughout the week. Thanks again for joining us.